So tell us, who is CPI, what do they offer, and how are we affiliated with them?
Oh, Cast Precision Industries in Lenapaw, Oklahoma was actually started by calling Calvin Paulette a friend would be a super understatement, and calling him a father figure would be, Calvin to me was like the cool older brother that you'd like to have that did all the cool shit. And I did have a cool older brother that did a lot of shit, but John, your Uncle John, he was into NHRA drag racing and was a division champion. But I was always into the bike stuff. So when I met Calvin, and we started talking, and the first thing we talked about, the very first thing that we ever talked about, because we actually met at the Louisiana drag race back in 2005. Yeah, so like 20 years ago. And he was sitting there, and he introduced himself, and I introduced him. You know, we knew each other mutually through, we just knew each other was. And we sat there, and somehow music came up. And of course, Calvin was in a band, and I used to have a band, and we both freaking loved Star Trek. So our first interaction for about the first, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours of our conversation was not about bikes. It was about music and watching Star Trek. From that point out, though, Calvin and I, we'd talk all the time. So the early part of the 20 teens, Calvin developed brain cancer, a brain tumor, and it killed him. And the world lost somebody that thought like nobody else I've ever known. So what is CP Industries now? Well, CP Industries manufactures, they manufacture race performance cylinders. To give you an idea, CP cylinders hold all the world records in sand drag racing. And I'm talking about all the world records that matter. You know, if you've got a 125 and you race it in the sand drag, that we're talking about the bikes that are really, really, really fast. K&T, Kim Munchmore, their triple, I think it was last year, went a sub 3-second run. Now what CP does is they manufacture cylinders. They manufacture cylinders for Banshees. I know they manufacture cylinders for some 4-stroke stuff. Obviously, they do the manufacturing for the Toiger cylinder. They do the manufacturing for the Lynx cylinder that I designed, which is only available through Elaine at CP Industries. And if you have the money and the time, they'll build you a cylinder line, but it is very expensive to do. To get through the castings and the core box and stuff. I don't know what it is now, but 5 years ago it was like $10,000-$12,000 to get through that. So people always think, oh, well, you just put this stuff together and you pour it in and you got a cylinder. Nah, it's not even close to that simple. It takes a lot of work to get there. So, but yeah, what are they to me? Well, I helped Elaine do all of her Honda development stuff now, and I'm even working on the triple Banshees. Yes, I know, I'm a 250R guy, but when Elaine Paulette asks for a favor, Dave Moore will grant it.